The 32nd Guam Youth Congress is hereby called to order. Representative Labang, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion that we move to the Committee of the Whole,
Notwithstanding.
notwithstanding House rule.
There's been a motion notwithstanding the House rules to resolve into the Committee of the Whole. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Mr. Secretary, please introduce the representatives-elect of the 32nd Guam Youth Congress.
Representative-elect Kyle DeHelig from the municipality of Dededo. Representative-elect Nolan Flores from the University of Guam. Representative-elect Nomi Perez from the Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Representative-elect Shante Kichicho from Guam Community College. Representative-elect Talia Sablan from the municipality of Agana Heights. Representative-elect Shaineen Taga from Tizen High School.
Thank you, Mr. Recording Secretary. Representatives-elect, if you could face the chair and raise your right hand. And repeat after me, of course. I solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God that I will well and faithfully support the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the United States applicable to Guam, and the laws of Guam, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties as a representative of the Guam Youth Congress. Congratulations. I would now like to invite Senator Amanda L. Shelton to present to you your certificates of election. And now some remarks from the Oversight Chair of the Guam Youth Congress, Senator Amanda Shelton.
Sidious Masi, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to first say congratulations to our newly elected representatives. I know that this is a very exciting day for all of you, and you probably had some competition at your individual schools and villages, and so a very hearty congratulations to all of you for getting this far. I want to remind you all that this is a serious position, and I encourage you to carry out your duties as a Youth Congress member with that kind of seriousness and integrity, because the bills that you pass here in the Youth Congress, they do have the opportunity to make it onto the session floor in the 35th Guam Legislature. So please remember that. Please remember that all the work that you put in here is serious work that can make a difference to the people of Guam. And I'd also like to remind you of who you're representing, the youth of Guam, your individual villages, your schools, your community. And so I want to wish you the best of luck, and to the other members who are here, continue to do your work. I see how serious all of you are, that you're here for every session, that you're working even beyond that with all of your other duties as students, your jobs, your homework, your extracurricular activities, and I want to thank you for putting your extra time to make a difference here. So Sidious Masi, and congratulations, everyone.
Representative Labang, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to lift from the Committee of the Whole.
There's been a motion to rise out of the Committee of the Whole. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. We're now back on our legislative session agenda. Does everyone have a copy? If not, you could share with your colleagues. Oh, we have some agendas here. We're now back on the legislative session agenda. Item 2, Representative Labang, you're recognized. For the prayer, please stand.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you that you've given us more representatives that are willing to represent the youth of Guam. Lord, I ask you to bless our new representatives and the current representatives, that we make good decisions for our island and to make our island better. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Representative Labang. I now recognize Vice Speaker Richards for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now I'll call on Representative Nolan Flores for the Guam hymn.
Oh my goodness. Fanogita contra piligru na fansafuham Deus proteis languam contra piligru na fansafuham Deus proteis languam.
And I'll call on Representative DeMarco Kineni for the Inifresi.
Inifrasi, gini mastakulo gihuna soku, I mastakulo gihuna sonhu, zani masfigu na nasinyahu, huo ferese maisadzu, parabai protehi, zanu nifendi, ihinengi, I cultura, I lenguahi, I airi, I hanum zanitano chumoro. Gin shoku deretsum gin nas duas tata, ifti wa fitman gihilue biblia, zani banderahu ni banderan guahan.
You may be seated. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Representative Kyle DeHilig, Representative Noel Brandon Negracia, Representative Lauren Dinsman, Representative Davin Felicin, Representative Nolan Flores, Representative Prairie Garrido, Representative Al Edrich Labang, Secretary Stephanie Lorenzo, Representative Joel Amber Maige, Representative Valina Matanani, Representative Janae Pareda, Representative Nomi Perez, Representative Shante Kichicho, Representative DeMarco Kineni, Representative Tristan Quintanilla, Vice Speaker Jacob Richards, Representative Talia Sablan, Representative Elijah Santos, Representative J. Van Santos, Representative Shanine Taga, Representative Vicente Blas Tyron, Representative Kyla Ann Trinidad, Speaker Christian Valencia, Representative Isabel Valencia. Mr. Speaker, there's a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Recording Secretary. We're now on item 7, call for the approval of the Legislative Journal. Mr. Floor Leader, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move to waive items 7 through 11.
There's been a motion to waive items 7 through 11 of our legislative session agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. You may continue, Mr. Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that bill be given their first reading. Bills be given their first reading.
There's been a motion that bills on our legislative session agenda be deemed to have their first reading. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Mr. Floor Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move to waive items 14 and 15.
There's been a motion to waive items 14 and 15 of our session agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. We are now in motions. Representative Kineni, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to place bill number 24-32 to the second reading file.
There's been a motion to place bill number 24-32 onto the second reading file for discussion. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bill 24-32 is an act to appropriate 2.5 million from the Tourist Attraction Fund to the Guam Highway Fund for the sole purposes of repairing our roads here on the island. I feel this is one of the more important tasks that our government has, especially with the state of decayed roads we have here. Whether it be up north, central, or down south, everywhere you drive on this island, you can see the conditions of the roads, especially within the villages. So we wanted to set aside a specific amount of money just specifically to get started with road repair, not only major road repairs and major highway repairs that are being done right now, but also throughout the villages on these mainly used roads. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Kineni. On the main motion, any member who wishes to speak? Representative Santos, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a couple questions for the primary sponsor of the bill, if he would yield.
Do you yield, Representative Kineni? You may continue.
My first question, Mr. Speaker, would be what was the rationale for picking the Tourism Attraction Fund to take the money out of for the purposes of the roads?
Representative Kineni?
The reason why I chose to move the money from the Tourist Attraction Fund, not only is it one of the biggest special funds here on island, but it's also, I feel road repair also kind of falls under the property of tourist attraction. However, money from the Tourist Attraction Fund cannot just be directly used for road repair. So moving it into the Highway Fund, which is authorized to do road repairs, felt necessary.
Does that satisfy your question, Representative Santos?
Yes, and another question that I had is, I know that the Guam Visitors Bureau has the authority to do capital improvement projects, and capital improvement projects have been for issues such as the street lights in Tumon, or renovating fixing the crosswalk situation in Tumon because of the way the roads were built. And I know that the Guam Visitors Bureau has authority to do that with the Tourism Attraction Fund. So I was wondering if there was any sort of reason why this would not be a capital improvement project, but rather a project taken away from the oversight of Guam Visitors Bureau to the Department of Public Works to be put in the Guam Highway Fund.
Representative Kineni.
The reason why we're moving it to the Guam Highway Fund is because GVB, the Guam Visitors Bureau, normally focuses on tourist-heavy areas such as Tumon, and that most of the repairs and capital improvements they do are, in fact, either in Tumon or here in Agana. So we are trying to spread that fund not only to these tourist-heavy areas, but to residential-heavy areas where most of the road repair is actually needed. Tumon's roads are nice, Agana's roads are nice, but it's these villages, the village roads that needs to be repaired.
Does that satisfy your question, Representative Santos?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. You may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In conclusion, I would like to say that I would like to see what the body has in terms of their opinion on appropriating this large sum of money to the Guam Highway Fund. I know that tourism is our main industry, and basically what I would be worried about is the impact on our economy and what this money could have been used for when it was appropriated with its original intention. Another question that I had is that the bill appropriates from fiscal year 2019. I'm not sure if because of the budget process, I'm not sure if this was already budgeted towards other purposes and how that would affect the budget how that would affect the budget overall. But Mr. Speaker, I do believe that roads are an issue that we should be looking into. My only apprehension is that, as we are aware, there are many roads on Guam that need dire repair, but at the same time, the environmental impact of perpetuating the use of cars on Guam is an issue that I also hold dear to myself because of the carbon emissions and other negative environmental impacts. And I think that if these funds were to be used for road repairs, these funds need to be used for the ones that are in dire need. And I don't see any language in the bill to say that it goes towards that specific purpose, because I don't want these road repair bills to go towards things like expanding the roads that we already have. And I think that could be tighter language that we can put in the bill, but otherwise, Mr. Chair, I have no further comment on the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Santos. Representative Dahili. Okay. Vice Speaker Richards, you're recognized.
Yeah, I have a question if the author will yield, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Kineni, do you yield? You may continue, Vice Speaker.
I'm wondering just why 2.5 million? Do you have data to support this? Or how much road are you going to fix with 2.5 million? Do you have anything to support that?
Representative Kineni.
2.5 million is actually a pretty small amount when it comes to road repair. According to a report by Public Works, they need about between 13 to 15 million to adequately fix Guam's roads. So this is supposed to be like a starting point, I guess, for them to get like a starting point for them to at least get the ball rolling on some of these bigger projects that haven't been touched in years, or some of these roads that really haven't been touched in years. It also brings the conversation then to the Guam legislature, if this body does pass it, that's saying the youth find it important that roads are in decayed repair. Maybe this is something we should focus on also.
Does that satisfy your question, Vice Speaker?
Anyway, yes. But like you said, you know, this is just a starting point. You said it's a small amount of money. I mean, in reality, $2.5 million is not really a small amount of money. I recognize that, you know, roads are expensive to fix and repair, but you brought up the youth, and roads are important to the youth, but education is also important to the youth. You know, is this something we want to allocate our money to? Just something to think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion? On the main motion? We are in recess. We're back in session. Representative Labang, you're recognized.
Okay, so, Mr. Speaker, I just went through the fiscal 20 budget, and I just want to point out that there are 44 million, 44,941,131 for the tourist attraction fund. That's the revenue collected by the government right now. But I also went through the appropriation part of the budget where the legislature basically appropriated about 35,786,102 and with finding the differences, we have 9,155,459. I know that this would make a perfect sense for appropriating the fund to this one, but I don't know personally if there's already a budget appropriated for road repairs, and if the good sponsor can answer a question, if he would yield.
Do you yield, Representative Kennedy?
So my question is, Mr. Speaker, is there already an appropriated budget for the road repairs? Because I know, yeah.
Representative Kennedy?
Sorry. In the Guam Highway Fund, there is money set aside for road repairs, but it's an amount that DPW has continually said every year that it's not enough to even get started on road repairs. And the one thing about the Guam Highway Fund too is that the mayors tend to pull a lot of their money out of this fund also. So the reason why we're appropriating this 2.5 million specifically for road repairs is that this is kind of money that the mayors can't touch, that we can use, or that DPW can use then to repair our roads.
Does that satisfy your question?
Yes.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Please state your point of information.
According to the fiscal year 2020 budget, the estimate is about $24 million that's appropriated to the Guam Highway Fund.
Thank you, Representative Santos.
I have another question. I know that they already give money for the road repairs, but do you have the figure, Mr. Speaker, of how much they appropriated for the road repair?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking to the
Oh, okay.
good
Representative
sponsor.
Kennedy.
Sorry.
Questions for you.
Sorry, I don't have the direct number in front of me right now. This bill was, I'm not saying this was a last minute time to do something, but this was kind of this morning's idea to bring this in and give it something for us to discuss. I don't have all the numbers in front of me right now, but this is, this bill has been sitting for a reason, and it's that this money is available. Well, here, put it. The money is available for to be moved. The research was done for it, however, it's not research I have on hand with me at this point.
Does that satisfy your question,
Yes.
Representative Bang? Thank you, Representative Kennedy. You may continue.
Mr. Speaker, I know that we're talking about the figures right now, but it's kind of hard if we don't have the figure for the set fund that we have for road repairs. So I'm gonna look into it as well, and I wish to reserve my time.
Thank you, Representative LeBang. On the main motion, any other member who wishes to speak? Representative Lorenzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to send the bill back to committee for further research and to get all the necessary data compiled. Thank you.
There's been a motion to send the bill back to committee. Are there any objections? There's been an objection. All those in favor of sending the bill back to the committee? Committee on Taxation and General Government Operations. Okay. There's been a motion to send the bill back to committee. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. We've exhausted all items in our second reading file, and we have no items in our third reading file. So we will now move to item 18 of our legislative session agenda, brief extension of remarks. Any member who wishes to be recognized. At this time, I'd like to invite our newly sworn in representatives to introduce yourselves and tell us what you're looking forward to in this term. And we'll start in alphabetical order. Representative Dahilig, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm excited to be back. What do you call them? I actually served in the 30. What are we on right now? No, I actually served in the 32nd of representing Ukidu High School, and I am really excited to represent Dedido for the remaining of the term. I'm actually really interested to work with the Committee on Land and Environment, so I'll be working on with Representative Isabel, Chairwoman Isabel, on that. And I look forward to be working with everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dahilig. Representative Flores, you're recognized.
Buenas and Hafide, Toru Hamzu, Guahusi Nolan Flores. I serve as the representative for the University of Guam, one of three, along with Alan Prairie. I'm very excited. I'm new here. Very excited to work with you all and learn from you all. I'm interested in the areas of cultural development or cultural preservation and revitalization of language, as well as environmental sustainability and just getting our youth more involved overall. Sizo Smasi, Mr. Speaker.
Smasi, Representative Flores. Representative Naomi Perez from the, I'll let you say. You're recognized.
Hello, everyone. My name is Naomi Grace Perez. I am serving as representative for the Academy of Our Lady of Guam. I am a junior, and I'm excited to be working with all of you and to represent our youth and just to make Guam a better place to live for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Perez. Representative Kichichu, you are recognized.
Manana Sizois. My name is Shantae Kichicho, and I'm representing Guam Community College. I'm double majoring in human services and education, and I feel like I want to be on here to help the youth, to support better education for the children, and also to support nonprofit sector organizations. And also just to get a feel of how it is to be a part of this committee and legislator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Kichichu. Representative Sablan, you're recognized.
Hi, Hafide. My name is Tali Sablan. I'm serving as the representative for the municipality of Agana Heights. And this is my first time in the Youth Congress, and I'm very enthusiastic about helping our island's education. And I'm very interested in going to law in the future as a human rights lawyer, so this is a good experience to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sablan. Representative Taga, you're recognized.
Hi, my name is Shayneen. I'm a representative for Tizen High, and I'm a sophomore. This is my first time here. Pretty nervous. I'm glad to work with all of you and make Guam a better place.
Thank you, Representative Taga. Again, congratulations to all of you and welcome to the 32nd Guam Youth Congress. Any other member who wish to be recognized? Representative Kennedy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to say to all the new members, congratulations and welcome to our body, and that hopefully you guys will be looking to join committees pretty soon, because that's an important part of the Youth Congress also. As chairman of taxation and general government operations, I have the most boring committee here in the Youth Congress, but I'm still looking forward to hopefully some people wanting to move government money around for better purposes. Also, I'm the vice chair for economic development, labor and tourism, and for culture and Chamorro affairs. So if anyone is interested in any of those three committees, you can speak to me after the session ends. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Kennedy. Any other member who wishes to be recognized? Of course, Representative Labang, you're recognized.
To the new representatives, I welcome you guys. I am humbled that you guys came here to help us represent the youth of Guam. As a majority leader of the 32nd Guam Youth Congress, I extend my hand in every one of you, no matter which party side are you in, or if you're in the center. And if you guys need help at any times, you guys can always reach me. And with that being said, I'm also the chairman for the Committee on Education and Youth Affairs. And if you guys want to join that committee, you guys can reach me at any time. That's all, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Labang. Any other member who wishes to be recognized? Seeing as there are none, we're moving on to item 19, announcements. Any announcements? Vice Speaker Richards, you're recognized.
Afternoon, good morning, everybody, once again. The University of Guam Latitones will be having a concert on December 6th and 7th at 7 o'clock. So if you want to buy some tickets, you can see me in a week or two, and I'll have them for you.
Do I hear a motion for sample?
No. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Speaker Richards. Any other announcements? Representative Valencia, you're recognized.
If you guys are looking to do something after this session, there's a JA trade fair at Guam Premier Outlets, GPO, today. It's already happening, but it's until 2 p.m., so you guys can go check that out. Some of our representatives are actually a part of the different various JA companies, so you guys can go check that out. Yeah.
Thank you, Representative Valencia. Any other announcements? Any announcements from GW? From Sanchez? None? Okay. Representative Kennedy, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to adjourn. Subject to call of the Speaker.
There's been a motion to adjourn subject to the call of the Speaker. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, we are adjourned.